Regeneration within the real world, in biology, is the process of renewal, restoration, tissue growth and cellular change, brought about by the fluctuations from a micro level up to a universal scale that disturb or damage to either the subject or the surrounding natural environment, in turn causing the process to occur, with every species capable of this, from bacteria to human. Now, diving into the world of Doctor Who, the process is far more evolved and advanced, the same real world outcome, but with the dial turned all the way up to 11. The ability to choose form in some cases, or even prevent the process to take place altogether, which basically was a form of suicide. The fluctuations and disturbances for thousands of years of evolution for the Time Lords through the exposure to the time vortex, and some interventions from Rassilon that had brought about advantages as their biology changed to adapt to the new environment that their species had harnessed, and the natural regeneration process now was far more advanced than most species within the universe. This idea is of course based around the original concept of regeneration, and does not include any retcon that has been added to the show since the takeover of Chris Chibnall as showrunner. When catastrophic damage occurs, the events are sped up, rather than the slow process of repair to the damaged area resulting in the subject dying before the repair has taken place. A Time Lord's regeneration causes the entire body at the cellular level to change, thus repairing the damage instantly, but unfortunately resulting in all the aspects of the subject to be shifted into a new pattern, the same molecules, just governed by a new blueprint. You are alive, and the fix was completed successfully prior to death, but the side effect is that you are no longer you, so to speak. The Fourth Doctor once said that he still had the same body as the first, but it had just been restructured since then. Echoes of memories would be retained within the brain, but the restructured rewiring of the neural pathways would leave the subject's personality altered, those memories becoming harder to bring to the surface due to the information contained within the brain being no longer capable of being used correctly, as prior connected pathways that had been before were no longer in that pattern. Like a book full of useful knowledge, but all of the words on the pages have been mixed about. The information is there, but it's nearly inaccessible. And with the continual cellular change, with each use of the regeneration, Rassilon found that he had no choice but to limit the process to 12 cycles due to the eventual decaying biogenic molecules within their bodies. Okay, so let's get to the real issue here. The show is clearly in the point of huge changes as the BBC hand the production over to Bad Wolf Studios and RTD, and the questions within the fanbase are spreading fast. But one thing I keep hearing coming up is the talk about how the modern show introduced love interests, and to whether or not the upcoming second RTD era will continue to follow this path. I, like many, have never really overly worried myself with this in the modern era, although I have often thought about how it does make it feel a little too soap-styled for my liking. I never was concerned with the companions or the guest characters bringing this into the stories, but what eventually began to put me off was the inclusion that the Doctor would continuously fall in love. And as the show progressed into the Jodie Chibnall era, it was clear that this is all that interests the writers these days. The Doctor is compassion, caring, friendship and trust, but he is not human. His physical makeup does not match the compatibility for those emotions that humans have, or at least not in any sense that we could understand. Just by the fact that the species evolve over time due to the surrounding environment, and that his species' evolution was on Gallifrey, a planet that has a very different gravity, air, speed of orbital spin, and just about pretty much everything that Earth is not, causes the simple fact that their bodies have developed completely differently to ours, despite their physical outward appearance. Inside, at a cellular level, they are as far from human as possible. Therefore, the way their brains process information would be nothing like our own, and this would change how our two species would see the universe around us. Then, on top of the fact that he is an alien, we then have to take into account regeneration. So even as a Time Lord begins to learn through their individual travels and experiences to understand the concepts of other species that they meet, such as human emotions, i.e. love, the regeneration process would strip back everything that was beginning to have some semblance of order to nothing more than a few distant, broken, experienced memories that lie dormant somewhere in his newly regenerated mind. So for me, to see the modern version of the Doctor falling in love like a human, I find it difficult to watch. And like his character to us, the way he perceives love should be alien to him. As for the future, I simply do not know what will happen. As many have said, RTD is a different person to the man he was in 2005, and what he does next will either breathe new life back into the show or sink it completely. Apart from the odd episode here and there, I've not really watched the show since 2017, and given the state that the Chibnall era has left it in, I struggle to see how it can be saved, even with someone like RTD back in control. Without a retcon of the retcon, I honestly don't know if whatever lies ahead for the franchise is really for me. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But if they do anything, they really need to get back to what the character originally was. Doctor Who is not a show for vanity and public scoring to better representation as a showrunner in a modern woke entertainment industry. Doctor Who is sci-fi, fun, laughter and adventures with an alien from another world. It's really that simple, guys. Please don't mess it up. Okay, that's it for this video. So if you want to see more, please subscribe by hitting that big red button and tapping the bell icon next to it. And if you liked what you've heard in this video, maybe you could give it a like. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.